Yeah, this is a transforming robot alien space pirate that is also a robot lion. Usually what follows that statement afterwards is, hell yeah. Hello everyone, it is Briximus Prime, back for another Transformers Legacy action figure video, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Legacy United Prime Universe Thundertron. Now, if anyone's wondering where I got this guy from, well, amazingly enough, I got this guy from
Amazon Fulfillment Services.
Anywho, what is miraculous, though, is this packaging. It's very nice. Legacy United, I love the bluish purple with the yellow highlights. Love how he has the lion mode right there, says his name's Thundertron, and it's got his mug right there, and then some images right there. It says Transformers, Legacy United here on the side. We got some lovely artwork right there, and you can see him right there on the poster. 40th anniversary of Transformers. Here on the back, got that 40 logo again, and we got some product shots right here on the back.
Authentic Transformers!
Thundertron here only comes with the one accessory. He just comes with his sword here, but that being said, it is a very nice looking sword though. I love all the bumps and scratches and cracks and everything. It looks like it's really been used quite a bit. Very nice looking sword, but it does have an extra feature that has to do with the robot mode. Like I said before, this guy is a pirate captain of the Space Pirates, and so they obviously added in a little feature where you can remove his foot, and there is a little peg leg right there. And basically what you can do with this is you can then transform this, and there is a little notch right there that will then plug into the tab on his sword, which would then allow you to have this look more like a traditional cutlass with the lion claw basically on there. And then that is just a fun little feature they have right there, and again really has that whole pirate theming going on here with that little peg leg. And also the whole peg leg thing does not mess with his stability at all. You can see this foot definitely holds him up quite a bit. I'm even shaking the table right now, and as you can see, he is not falling over even with that peg leg. And even then, you even can use his lion tail back here in certain dynamic poses. You can even use that as a third leg sometimes, which creates even more stability for this guy. And I guess you could technically consider these claws right here as an extra kind of weapon. Now, in terms of weapon storage here, traditionally you're supposed to plug it in right here, and you just stick it in right there, and that's how it stores on him. He has these little notches right here, which are technically meant to be there for the joints for these hip skirts, but if you try to utilize this peg, you can technically try to give him a little bit of some sword on his hip action. The only problem is, because this is a bit of a fan mode thing from me, it doesn't really stay in very well. So maybe with some modification you could get that to stay in there, but yeah, it's just, I was just trying to play around with it and see if I could give him even more of that pirate look.
I could take it one step further and involve alcohol.
And yeah, staying on top of the whole pirate theming, you can definitely see that here in his head sculpt as well. Because I don't know if you can see that or if it's picking up on camera, but he does have a little bit of a scar under one of his eyes right there. And also he's got a bunch of bumps and scratches on that white crest on his head. They're very subtle, but it really shows this guy's age, especially if that beard didn't make that point come across. But it makes this guy really come across as like an old pirate captain with a big beard and a peg leg, and yeah,
Sponge boy me bum.
Would have liked maybe some light piping, but that color scheme does also go down to the rest of the figure as well. I'll give you 2 guesses as to what this guy transforms into. And yeah, I love all the coloring. The blue and the white and this like bronzish gold color really gives this guy some very like royal color kind of looks. Like it makes this guy feel very king-like, very like the I do love the detail here on his feet, and overall the mechanical detail on here gives a lot of a knight aesthetic, kind of similar to what was seen in Transformers The Last Knight, but again, it has that same kind of aesthetic as Transformers Prime, and as you can see, that's the little logo of the Star Seekers. That's kind of like their skull and crossbones. I do love that detail that they added in right there. But yeah, and again, he does have this tail here. And yeah, this guy's got shoulders that even give Ultra Magnus a run for his money.
I can't deal with that now.
But like I said before, there's a lot of great mechanical detail added into this guy that's painted up very well, but as you can see, there is also a lot of these like cracks and scratches and stuff on him, really showing how much age and weathering there is on this guy. And I really like that interpretation on this guy, because again, this is meant to be like an older Cybertronian, almost like an Alpha Trion kind of like figure. So the whole pirate theming of this guy is a little bit toned down, but honestly, I think that's for the best, because I would very much prefer for this guy to look a lot more like an actual Cybertronian robot, rather than look like some piece of artwork from DeviantArt or whatever. Getting into posability, this guy has a ball joint at the head. Doesn't really pivot or anything, but it does allow him to look down a little bit. He can't really look up. It does allow him to look side to side just a little bit. It's just the shoulders really get in the way of his articulation, and the beard isn't really doing him much favors. Oh, but it looks so freaking cool. He has ball joints here in the shoulder pads, which allow them to move up and down and move forward and back, which accommodate for some of the posability here in the shoulders. His shoulders can move outward that far, they can move down. There is a slight semblance of a butterfly joint in there, but it's barely moves that it's basically useless. Shoulders move back, they can move forward. He does get a tight bicep swivel just above the elbow. Over 90 degrees of bend at the elbow. This guy does have wrist swivel in there. It's just very tight and kind of hard to access with the claws right there, but I did want to point out that it is there. Now, it does get a little clunky with these little hip skirts that are on ball joints and this little flap right here, but he does have a waist swivel in there. It's just, again, he has a lot of parts in there due to transformation that kind of run into each other, so you can't get too much mileage out of it, but it is there. This little back flap just kind of flaps around, but it also tends to hinder the articulation as well. And as I said, these are on ball joints. They can just move up and down and move out of the way to accommodate for any leg posability, where the legs can kick forward. They can't really kick back too far. They can move outward that far. He does get a thigh swivel. Due to transformation, he also gets a knee swivel. Over 90 degrees of bend at the knee. Very nice articulation right there. And then he does also get a hinge joint at the ankle, which allows him to move up and down. And then he gets a very, very pathetic excuse for a pivot that is basically useless. And of course, you don't need pivot on this leg, well, because it's a peg. And now getting into comparisons here. Legacy, Evolution, Voyager class Leo Prime. This is the last kind of Voyager-sized lion transformer that we got. And then here is Thundertron with the last Prime Universe figure that I also took a look at, the Legacy Evolution Leader Class Skyquake. But these guys are roughly about the same size, and I think their designs complement each other to the point that they seem like they're about in the same universe. Sadly, I do not own that original figure, so as we go into the comparisons, I'm not going to be able to show that off. And did I forget to mention that this guy has a devil fruit power? His devil fruit power is that he can transform into a lion. Sorry, I've been watching a lot of One Piece lately. Okay, I'll stop talking about One Piece. I just really like One Piece, okay? Looking at some of the details, obviously we saw a little bit of the face, the lion face in robot mode, but I wanted to talk about it more here in the actual lion mode than in robot mode. I love the blue eyebrows, and again, the blue and white highlights along with that little bit of the bronzish, kind of coppery gold coloring is always a really nice color, really makes a lot of the details really pop. And again, got some nice gunmetal gray going in right here. And again, he's got a lot of those like bumps, cuts, and scratches all over him, especially here on this piece as well. And again, this also puts that logo on display. And overall, I think he has a pretty good organic looking lion mode. I mean, the legs transform and basically just crunch up as small as possible. So like, it's really cool how they managed to make this guy look as organic as possible. And I totally didn't just forget a bit of transformation.
You didn't see anything.
But yeah, another bit right here is that you can have his arms you can have the lion arms tab into the sides right here for the full transformation, but again, you can just untab them and then it gives him even more range of posability out of the legs. So it's just a way to help solidify them when you're just having him in a neutral standing pose. But yeah, I really like that. And again, the tail is also really nice. Just wish it was even more articulated. That's really my biggest complaint with this figure, is this tail really is kind of a hindrance in both modes because it barely articulates like at all. But yeah, very nice stuff. The hollow gaps are kind of annoying, but overall I think the lion mode is actually really well put together. A lot of the sculpted details and everything looks nice. And yeah, weapon storage is still accessible in this mode as well. Briefly going over the posability, as you can see, this guy does have an articulated jaw. And as mentioned before, you can untab these and allow the shoulders to rotate forward and back. They can move outward. He does get a bicep swivel due to transformation, bend at the elbow, and also a hinge joint at the paws here, which do allow for some nice expressive poses. And then the hip skirts here are also still adjustable on the ball joints, which allows for the hips to rotate, thigh swivel, knee swivel. So basically, you still get all the joints out of the legs here. It's really just the arms that are mostly different. But yeah, pretty good articulation on the Lion mode. It's a lot more articulated than the Leo Prime. Speaking of Leo Prime, here for comparisons, here is the Legacy Evolution Leo Prime. But again, I feel like there's pros and cons here to both. I don't think one is better than the other. And then here he is with the Prime Universe Dreadwing in his vehicle mode. No, I totally wasn't too lazy to transform Skyquake. They're basically the same figure, so cut me a break.
Don't turn your back on me, Scar.
Do you get it? Because he has a scar. I do really like the figure. He has a lot of great detail and articulation. Again, he has that really detailed aesthetic because that's part of the Transformers Prime kind of look. It has the cartoony appearance and colors, but it still retains that detail almost like in the movies. And I really love the design here. Again, I almost bought that original Thundertron figure from way back when, but then I ended up waiting on it, and then I got this instead. And yeah, really great Lion mode, really great robot mode. The Lion mode has a lot of really great details. I mean, it is a Cybertronian lion, so there's nothing really to complain about with kibble or anything. And I do feel like, the Lion mode is a lot more fun, like the more and more I keep playing with it. I keep finding more and more things to appreciate, and I keep enjoying it the more I mess around with it. At first, I was kind of on the fence, but I think this is actually a superior Lion mode in comparison to Leo Prime, at least in terms of playability. But in terms of looks, I feel like it really depends on your personal preference, because this is a Cybertronian lion, where Leo Prime is kind of meant to look more like a realistic lion.
Actually, it's anime accuracy.
That is basically it for my review on the Transformers Legacy United Voyager class Thundertron. If you guys liked this video, be sure to give me a like on the video, comment below what you guys think, subscribe to the channel for more Transformers and action figure videos, and I will definitely catch you guys next time.